All right. So, Governor McKee, nice to meet with you virtually again. It's been a short while since I saw you last, and thank you for joining us as well. Let me just go ahead and be transparent here. I am unfamiliar with the gentleman sitting to your right, sir. Could you? I'm sorry.
So this is Director Mark Pappas. He's the EMA Director of the state of Rhode Island, and we are in Cranston right now at his headquarters. That's
Thank
correct.
you. Okay, so I know you by name in the articles that I have read about you. I don't recognize you by face yet. So thank you for that introduction. Great. Okay, so Governor Dan McKee, if you would just kind of give us a brief overview of where we are as we head into the noontime hour now that the storm has actually started. How are the extra crews responding to the storm right now? What's the latest update?
So DOT for the state level, we have about 400 vehicles out right now, clearing the snow from our state roads and our federal highways. As well as we know that municipalities are doing the same thing in their community. So our message to people is let them do their work. Let's stay home, stay off the roads, so that we can clear the snow, so everybody can be safe. And then we will let everyone know when it's safe to be using the roads. Tractor trailer ban is still in effect. And we just had a little spin out, right, Mark,
Yes.
on in Richmond area on
Correct.
Route 95. You may maybe mention that why
Yep.
we have the ban right now.
Tell
Yeah,
me
so
about this. Oh, yes, go ahead.
go ahead. Do you have a question?
Oh, I wanted to hear about the spin out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we just learned about it, so I haven't gotten the full details, but we do have a tractor trailer truck ban in effect. Us along with other states, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. So one of them was on the road, they're not supposed to be. And this is why we put the ban in effect. So we heard that the truck spun out. I don't know the extent yet. So yeah, we're watching that, and the state police are monitoring the highways to make sure that they are staying off the road.
All right. And so then, based on the little bit of research that I was able to do in the past hour, I saw that the last time that Rhode Island had such a significant snowfall, around 10 inches or so, was in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 years ago. And I noticed in the information that you released, Governor McKee, that there is an increased effort right now. Tell me about where we were before and why we felt the need to increase the response right now as opposed to when we encountered the same situation before.
Well, the snowstorm was predicted to be very heavy during that 9 to 3 time frame. And we knew that that was a time frame where people might be able to get into work or into what they have to do early in the morning, but what are they going to do in the afternoon? We've had experience here, Karah, with afternoon snow. That's why the schools are not in session. We've had schools in session before when heavy fall would happen while they were in school, and then when they come out on the buses, they would be delayed or even caught in traffic. So we wanted to avoid that. The same thing with vehicles. We don't want heavy vehicles during this time frame. And then, as you can tell, during the hours when people are leaving work or are going home in the evening, it is a heavy to begin with. Now you add the snow in, and it could be a backups and it could be dangerous. And we've had situations before where that time frame of the day is not a good time to be traveling. So we were very preventative. We made the right call. As you can see, the snowfall coming down, and Mark has been very helpful to make sure that, as you say, history matters, and we rely on that.
Yeah, so the scenario that I presented to the governor yesterday is one that I've lived through back a number of years ago, where it was a storm very similar to this, where it looked pretty good in the morning, people could go to work, and then in the afternoon it really started snowing heavy, like it's doing now, 1, 2, 3 inches an hour. And the winds are creating whiteout conditions. And there was a couple of accidents on 95 that just backed everything up. And once that happens, the plows can't get through and cars will just get stuck on the highway. And that's what we really wanted to avoid. Just stay off the roads.
Okay, so a very clear message coming through from both of you about really limiting the amount of movement that we have on the highway. With that in mind, can we talk briefly about the stretch of Washington Bridge? I want to say around Seekonk, that you had some focused efforts or focused mindset on as far as keeping people safe in that area and the Washington Bridge congestion that we're already experiencing, how the snowstorm is compounding that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I have been in communication with Director Albetti prior to this call. That was probably 45 minutes ago. He explained to me that travel is light, so that means people are adhering to our request to stay off the roads, and that traffic is running smoothly through that area, and the snow is being removed. So that's another reason why you're reminding us of why we're asking people to stay off the roads. That's a perfect example. We want to make sure that we're able to clean both the east and west traffic lanes that are going over the bridge right now. And to be able to do that, we need to make sure that there's very little to no traffic there, so that we can continue to make that a safe passageway. And thank you for bringing that up. But right now we're okay. But as long as the traffic stays light, and we're going to be able to stay ahead of it. And we're going to be able to make sure that, by the end of the day, we're expecting by 9 o'clock tonight to be pretty clear of the snow on our roads from the state point of view. I don't know. I haven't checked with the municipalities yet. But in that we're fully anticipating by tomorrow morning that the roads will be down the pavement. And it'll be just in time for restaurants for Valentine's Day. We want to make sure people don't change their schedule there, because we got to continue to support our economy.
Okay, and just a couple of more questions for you. For Director Pappas, one thing that is kind of top of mind for me after seeing the storms that came through recently is the melting. I checked with our meteorologists. They say that they don't anticipate such a fast rate of melt that we saw the last time that we had a snowstorm, but obviously you all have to think preemptively and preventatively. What considerations have you made for what happens after the storm, as far as the potential for snow melt?
Yeah, I mean, so we've had a lot of flooding incidents, September, December, 2 in January. We're very in tune with what's going on with the rivers, and so we monitor the river gauges constantly, and we're in constant conversation with the National Weather Service, watching the river gauges. With regard to this specific storm, when we talk to the National Weather Service, it's going to be a slow melt. There's no really warm temperatures coming anytime soon, so the sun will be out tomorrow and through the rest of the week. So it will be some measured melt, but we don't see it impacting the rivers to create like flood levels or anything like to that degree.
You all have both mentioned some of the increased support that you have called in, particularly to assist with the roads, Governor McKee, but also with power outages. Can you tell me about what you have planned for the power outages and how you hope to make that a smooth process should those outages occur for Rhode Islanders?
Well, I'll let Mark handle that, but I would want to just give that Rhode Island Energy has been a great partner. They explained yesterday to us in a meeting with our staff, 55. We had 55 people on a call yesterday planning for this, all the different departments. But Rhode Island Energy is bringing in more and more vehicles to be on site for emergency. But Mark, you can kind of give a update of where we are.
Sure. Yeah, we have great communication with Rhode Island Energy. They brought a number of crews in to deal with any power outage that may occur. They call it a type 4 event, so not too significant, but I know for a fact they brought in probably close to 100 extra crews to deal with all the power outages that may take place. We are expecting some heavy wind gusts, 30, 35 miles an hour, and with the wet snow sticking to wires and limbs, we could see that. So I think they're in a pretty good shape to deal with the power outages when they do occur. I think we're up to about 180 right now, which is pretty minimal.
Are there any particular areas that you guys are focusing on that may be more susceptible or vulnerable in these types of storms?
Yeah, this is a storm that really impacts the state north to south, east to west. So sometimes, during these kinds of storms, you see more wind down by the coast. It'll be a little bit, but really, the snow is heavy, it's sticking everywhere. So I would say no real area of focus. The area of focus is the whole state right now.
Okay, and is there any, I do have to ask this one for my evening crew, and then I'll open the floor for both of you. We have noticed the anticipated track of the storm shifting to later times than initially projected. And so we wondered, and I think you mentioned something along this line briefly earlier, Governor McKee, about it cutting off at 9. Should that go later past midnight, would those crews still be on hand? Are they, do you have plans for them to stay later should the storm persist?
They will be, attending to the snow until we don't have to any longer. The goal is to be available, to be down the pavement in the morning, so that the travel times there to work, and then during the day is at a normal pace. So yeah, the work will continue, and I think, I know that work in our municipalities will continue. So if there's parking bans in your community, please adhere to those. There's a reason for that. It's not safe for the plows to be plowing in tight areas where there's vehicles on the road, and it only impedes the ability to remove the snow in a way where, our emergency vehicles can get through. Remember, safety is the top priority here. And we got to make sure that, all accesses are available to our emergency vehicles, rescue and fire. This is where you do it. So adhere to the bans, parking bans. Please adhere to staying off the road. Our strong recommendation to stay off the road until we notify you differently. And we'll be happy to get back on air with you and your evening crew if we're not earlier than that. But welcome to Rhode Island, Karah, right? This might be your first, is this your first snowstorm?
Second, I was here for the first one. This time I've
Yeah.
got to make a snowman, and then hopefully we'll be done with the snow and whatever Puxatawny Phil said, our early spring, hopefully that'll be coming soon. Any emergency considerations or declarations in connection to the storm?
Yeah, I think the governor just summed it up perfectly. I really can't add to that. The governor put out his executive order yesterday, calling for the closure of state government and the tractor trailer ban. So listen, it's all about public safety right now and making sure people just stay off the roads so that the DOT plows and the municipal plows can get on there and clean it all out.
Anything else that either of you would like to add?
No, I thank you for the opportunity to be here and communicating with everyone in Rhode Island. Stay safe. That's the top priority. And let the people who are doing the plowing and the snow removal do their work and let them be safe as well. So that's the plan. And Rhode Island's very experienced at this. So I think that's why you're seeing the cooperation and the patience that we're seeing right now.
Thank you both for your time this morning. Governor Dan McKee, Director Pappas, I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.